Phoenix's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to pick.
Dark Seer.
Phoenix's turn to pick.
Faceless Void.
Fnatic's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Reserve time.
Spirit.
Phoenix's turn to ban.
Welcome back to the Summit 5 Southeast Asian Qualifiers. We're here, we're doing it. It's going to be happening. It's the best of 5 grand finals. MVP Phoenix facing off against Fnatic. I'm Lyrical, joined today by Scant. Sir, these two teams have come the distance and now they're sitting here. We're going to see some fireworks.
Fnatic's turn to ban. Phoenix's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Right.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Fnatic's turn.
Yeah,
to
they've
ban.
been really running it. We saw the other day, I mean, Febby just ran this guy all over the map. He was able to be a part of everything. At the end of the day, he ended up having the second highest net worth in the game as a support Ancient Apparition. For everybody out there that's kind of dozing, listening to my voice right now, I'm going to repeat that for you. Ancient Apparition had the second highest net worth in the game as a position 4, and he just dominated. It was absolutely ridiculous. It's so nuts. So keep your eyes on this. They're like you said, they're first picking it. That might need to be something that Fnatic need to go back for a little bit later and try to either ban away. We'll see how it ends up working, but these teams just flying through the draft already. The Dark Seer was also taken, and then the Faceless Void. This was the other combination that it ran really well together with, and it looks like MVP really want to be aggressive early. Just already the Tusk taken, DP, securing objectives. It's going to be awesome.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Well, and now I'm seeing too as well that you've already got some nice little things that are going on in conjunction with this. The damage amplification you're going to be able to get with the Vengeful Spirit, to some extent at least, with Slay of Fist going on. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it does help out a little bit. And the other bans that we've been seeing, they're going to be taking that Spectre off the table of Fnatic. And with the 4th pick now coming up, it's certainly something to keep your eyes on. I'm not exactly sure right now, though, do you feel like they would try and go for that super late game core? Like, is there any chance that we see another very late game carry oriented hero, or is it just sort of maybe trying to make some more space for the Ember Spirit to get his farm, even though he's going to be played in that mid role?
Shadow Fiend.
God.
Phoenix's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to ban. Fnatic's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's the only thing that I would
5
worry about
seconds
is
remaining.
the hero just doesn't feel incredibly strong in the meta. Being able to catch back up and being able to sort of, I mean, that was the way that we ended up seeing it before played often in the mid roll, was you would run something like an Earthshaker in there where you're able to keep him safe from the ganks that come in. Like Tusk is definitely going to be rolling in to try and find kills, and then you catch back up if you do fall behind by moving into the jungle and taking stacks. But that doesn't seem like it's going to be entirely viable with the changes. Maybe this bounty hunter is going to be what they need. I'm not sure.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, this is something that could be really effective, and maybe it's the answer as well of being able to have somebody in the mid lane just to help out a little bit. DP, I don't know the matchup that well since the changes to DP. Like, I'm sure that it's just entirely different from what we're used to. It feels like it's just you're going to be able to outrange him to some extent, at least, just going for last hits with raises if you do end up falling a little bit behind. But probably the rune control is going to be fairly effective, and in that way, I'm not sure really who has the better setup for it. I mean, Tusk seems like it's going to be really strong for, throwing out those shards and zoning out the Shadow Fiend, but by the same token, Bounty Hunter also can definitely mess with the runes.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. We saw what happened the other day when they ended up being able to run that, and that we were watching. There was some game where the Faceless Void just completely rolled over the opponent's save line. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we're seeing if they're going to be able to recreate the magic that they had yesterday. Can MVP Phoenix take down their sort of arch rivals in the Southeast Asian region, Fnatic? We're best of 5. It's going to be happening right now for you all, and I'm so excited for this series. Granted, it's probably two of the most well-known teams now from the region. They're really, like, this is what I think everybody felt like it was going to all come down to. There's definitely a chance for TNC to make it, but now looking at it, and actually with that Juggernaut last pick, I mean, we have seen occasionally them run it in the mid lane. There's no way that they do that, though. It's going to be the DP mid, right? Okay. Mm. That's kind of what it looks to be, maybe like. The bounty hunter picked up boots first, and this is normally, I guess, is that the normal build? What am I missing? I guess he would normally be going for an Orb of Venom if he was trying to play the normal support bounty hunter role. Is boots first the offlane build?
30 seconds to battle.
Is your Skype okay real quickly? I had a short little burst there of some strange things going on. Is it all looking good? Oh, 343 meanwhile actually is going to end up trying to move over and contest this, but QO is going to be able to pick up the bounty rune and looks to be pretty solid. So they had there is going to head towards the mid lane, and yeah, you were right. It is going to be 343 in that semi offlane role with the Iron Talon juggling Darkseer. Oh my god. 343 does end up heading over here, so they are going to completely abandon this lane for the moment, but it's worth noting this is such a tough matchup already for Mushi. He went Necromastery first, which, I mean, that's sort of always been the question of which way you want to try and go for this to be able to build up a couple of those last hits, and I mean, 343 really needs to help him at the start. You can see the net or the base damage difference, 40 versus the 65 coming out from DP, and he's lucky to even be able to get 3 so far.
You have
Okay.
been
Interestingly, ended up going for the boots first. A little bit unconventional, but it makes a ton of sense against this DP with the Spirit Siphon. Again, this is a change that we've seen is the way in which DP needs to get played nowadays. You really do need to. I mean, it's sort of like playing against the old Razor in a certain way as well.
Whiz.
Oh, there's going to be the bounty rune. Well, Ndubu is going to move in towards the mid lane now, wrapping around, and he might be able to make something happen here. Mushi needs to be careful. I don't know if he's just looking for a courier snipe, possibly, but doesn't look to be able to get it as of yet, as the Shadow Fiend's still a little ways away from that bottle. But there's going to be the roll in, and they still bring 343 as well. So QO actually going to take a lot of damage from this. Needs to be careful. Mushi is hitting hard.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that's something that's pretty helpful also. They've had this camp block the entire time with this ward here, and they still don't end up being able to get the D ward on it. But with the Ion Shell on top of 343, I think that Febby needs to be a little bit careful, particularly with those boots already up. And with that, he backs out. This is something that's a little bit unfortunate, though, because given this lane completely alone, they probably would have loved to be able to continue to pull for Febby and get him some more levels. He's still stuck at level 2 right here. Yeah. Yeah, that might have been some nice little plays coming out from 343. If he went for the body block and then ended up going back. I mean, as soon as you see that the Darkseer is going to be Iron Talon jungling, you want to be able to pull constantly. So I would imagine that they would have looked for it. Meanwhile, Juggernaut here, level 4. They're going to try and run this down, but no luck in terms of controlling that Darkseer, as he's just able to head on out of there. Ooh. Oh, and this is what we were talking about. Just a quick and easy jump forward. They find the kill. 343 has decided to reveal himself as well and is maybe going to fall. They find the return kill. Mid one hops in for that and is going to be able to kill off the DP as well. So a quick rotation coming out, and they're able to find one there as Ember Spirit picks him up. Yeah. Well, and now they are going to, again, find 343. It just does feel, though, that is something that can happen basically on cooldown, and Ember Spirit can't always be rotating into the mid lane to help out the Shadow Fiend, so I'd really like to see MVP continue to get aggressive with this one. They certainly don't have to, and a DD'd up Shadow Fiend can take care of himself, but it looks like they're still waiting and looking to maybe make that aggressive play again. Oh, they actually spot out with right about the end of that scan that QO was heading over there, but I don't know if they actually kept eyes on it, and now gonna pop Exorcism and just run at Mushi, who's in the middle of an animation and gonna try and TP away. Does he end up being able to get out? Just barely. My goodness, Shadow Fiend was sub 100 HP. I haven't even like sub 50 HP by the end of that, but no kill found with that first Exorcism. Might be able to pressure the tower though. Pretty high level plays indeed, and Mushi making a pretty good use of it. They are going to be pressuring in the tier 1 tower now. Rotations can come in an instant if they're not careful. The TP scroll is up on the Ember Spirit, and with Dubu hanging out behind here, oh, places the ward down as well. This is going to get some really great vision, and we're going to see if they try and do anything with it. Meanwhile, the top lane is being creep cut by Ohio as well as 343, so a lot of movement all across the map. It looks like they want to try and commit for taking this tier 1 mid though.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Good decision making. 3-4-3. Meanwhile, scouts this all out. You can see though, as far as the farm rates are going, it does feel pretty good right now across each of these teams. We were a little bit worried about how much Void was going to be able to get, but we're also seeing the Darkseer's getting a good amount of both farm as well as levels, and I think that they're feeling fairly okay with it. I mean, the Void is the highest leveled hero in the game right now because he's been basically just staying in the lane, but I don't think that if you're Fnatic, you're feeling terrible at this point. That's what you love to see as well. But QO back mid does have Exorcism again in 10 seconds if they want to use it. We're starting to see the power of that Shadow Fiend, though, and this is something that people need to keep in mind. When one of the biggest problems that you have nowadays in Dota 2 is breaking high ground. And before, Shadow Fiend was like the answer. You get Aegis up on this guy, just stand up on the high ground, start right-clicking towers. He can definitely be that force again if you're not careful. So that, and also being able to clear out creep waves with raises, it's just really good. But 3-4-3 up in the top lane is going to get jumped on by QO, and the Spirit Siphon, they're not going to be able to find the kill as he went into invis, but they should be able to pressure this tier 1 in the top lane.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh, and a DD rune as well from Mushi. They spot out that he picked it up. This could be big, and they actually look like they want to go in and take this fight. There's going to be the catch, and Ohio's going to be controlled for the moment, but right into a hell of a lot of raises. They're bringing down QO very low, no exorcism, as you said, and it looks like they're going to be able to take it as the Chronosphere connects on him, but you're going to be able to pull back Mushi out of the Chronosphere with the swap. DJ doing it big, 3 dead, and man, Fnatic come out on top in a big way.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah. And this also does signal the start of the track coming out from the Bounty Hunter. He hit level 6, 11 minutes in, and with MVP style of constantly wanting to take fights, I don't know if they're going to play it that way in this game, but it certainly is something that they're capable of doing. It feels like that could end up favoring Fnatic a little bit if they're not careful. So they're going to need to be careful, making sure they only take fights that, or it's not just an even trade where they're going to be able to win.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And now that is going to be the Bounty Hunter coming in from behind. They track the DP, and Dubu's going to need to back out. Again, 3 heroes here for Fnatic, but feeling so confident with the vision advantage they gained from that Bounty Hunter. And with that, Forev can still stay down here. He gets one bash on to mid 1, but the chains are going to connect, and it looks like MVP don't care. They're just going to dive the tower with basically no creeps.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Well, and if he starts building into a couple of those damage items as well, I mean, naturally there's the Vengeful Spirit swap away from a Chronosphere, so he needs to hit onto multiple high-impact heroes, or possibly at least one other hero plus the Venge. So that, to me, feels like maybe one of the ways that you take this fight now for MVP is you just try and build into maybe a couple more damage items for him, or possibly maybe just try and build around the Chronosphere. Regardless, 343 is just being a pain in the butt right here with the track.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is something that we haven't seen a ton of either, is Shadow Fiends with Arcane Runes. It brings it down to 50 mana cost on that 325 damage nuke. Pretty ridiculous if we're going to be completely honest about it. And whenever you end up being able to have those, being able to throw out the damage time and again, it's pretty good. But again, mid lane. No, not really at all. So what's the play now for MVP? We're still seeing that Fnatic are taking an advantage in terms of net worth, 2,500 gold into their favor, and experience right around 4,000 as well. We talk about the Void being able to make a lot of plays in this game, but regardless, the towers are still starting to go down, and Shadow Fiend takes the one mid.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they tried to swap Dubu into the Requiem of Souls. They still find the kill. Bounty Hunter taking down the Tusk. Kind of an interesting look at that type of game. It's not something that you normally see, the swap into a Requiem, but well timed out there by DJ and Mushi, and there's going to be the blink up to the high ground. I'd be a little bit concerned at this point with this Shadow Fiend. He's starting to get a little bit swaggerific. Mid one gonna get jumped on. Oh, gets his Ohio, but not sure if that's quite enough. They get the stun and gonna be able to get the bash onto Mushi, and they end up being able to throw out the Spirit Siphon. The shards are also gonna go through, and now controlled for the moment, gonna bring him back. That's gonna be a wall onto several, and I'm not sure if they have enough damage for this. Guess what? This actually is that a pipe that's already out? Are you kidding me? They're gonna try and go in with MP now and bringing Ohio down very low, but this is gonna be Mushi going down. Death Requiem finishes off one, but I'm not sure if it's going to quite be enough. Rev continuing to chase, and it looks like they're going to be able to chase down DJ as well, as he is going to die. 3-4-3 snowballed in on from afar. They end up being able to hit a bash, and it does look like he is going to go down. So 3 still fall. That was a very strange engagement.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is scary. They jump in, a lot of damage coming out. They haven't actually ended up throwing out anything, and the A-Blast is going to connect. Duba's still alive for the moment. The Omni Slash back him up to QO. He's on the high ground now, but it looks like everybody from MP is going to go down, but they buy back on the Faceless Void. I'm not really sure what he was hoping to do there. He had Chronosphere in 10 seconds, but a really, really big loss for MVP. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's just a really bad situation now at this point. And we talked about how good it was going at the start for MVP with their lanes, and Faceless Void was getting a lot. They really didn't have an ability to shut down that Darkseer, and we're seeing how much he got out of that laning stage. I mean, he ends up not going for the mechanism, instead having the pipe, and now you've got the capability to survive through this Ancient Apparition ultis that come through, and that was really one of the defining features of MVP's draft. I'm starting to get concerned also because not the least of which is that Juggernaut is going for this very battle-oriented build, which doesn't have a Battle Fury, which means that he's going to not be able to scale as well into the later stages of this game. I mean, what's the play now? Do you just need to try and fight around your ultis and take an objective? I feel like they need him also to take down towers. Hmm. And we're gonna have this little short pause, hopefully. And I don't know, this I'm starting to look also at the net worth graph, and you can just see how significant it is when they end up losing those engagements. Do you feel like MVP, that move into the Roche pit just felt so bold to me, where if they get it, it's huge, but since they did it, it almost feels so all in that, I mean, even the Faceless Void buying back in that instance, it's been tough. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's true. And
Dire's structures
it looks like now they are Fnatic going to be able to take this engagement, and we'll have to see how much work mid one gets out of this Aegis, as they still do have a Forev here with his Chronosphere available. It doesn't look like Fnatic want to push the envelope too much. They just Remnant back, gonna farm out the jungle, be content with what's happened already, and take a stack on the way out. Not too bad.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Hmm. That hero is just so good. Everything he brings to the table. Bounty Hunter also now going to go back for the mechanism, but MP is in their sights and might get jumped on here in the top lane. They have the chains available. Needs to go for the Blade Fury to get away. And
Dire's top tower is under attack.
oh, the smoke breaks now. They realize that it's 3-4-3, but he gets away. They're not able to... Well, they do end up being able to get the dust on him, so he is going to fall. I thought that he was just outside of range of it, but no such luck. Bounty Hunter goes down, and... yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Also, you're seeing mid one build into now his Battle Fury. He's going to have it up in just a couple of seconds as Only needs one more component, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have that maximum amount of damage, but with the Boots of Travel and that Battle Fury up and a pretty sizable lead over the other side here of MVP, it's something to be concerned with. I do like the Diffusal Blade pickup for the Jug, though, and might even end up going into Manta afterwards. Oh god, QO is going to lift up with the Yule Scepter, but she was never going to be able to get out of there. God, that hurts.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Absolutely. Well, the AA Blast comes through again, and the Snowball is going to be onto the Ember Spirit, which shouldn't end up causing too much issue. Actually, it's just on the creep wave down below him. So another combo comes out. Dubu dropping low. Needs to get out of here. Actually, he's just going to get remnant on. Doesn't die. But man, that was rather close. And it does look like Fnatic are still setting up. Oh god, QO is going to end up getting swapped back. The damage is going to be there. They find the kill. Oh god, that combination of being able to have the Requiem of Souls with the swap, it's actually really good.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is fallen.
God, and just constantly tracked up. Bounty Hunter all over MP. I'm really concerned at this point. Like, the Shadow Blade on Faceless Void is good, but if 343 is able to spot him out, all of a sudden it nullifies all of that ability. And you know, he is going to Shadow Blade into this. This could be big if they're able to find it. And looking for the AA Blast, it's actually not going to connect, though. And Mushi should be able to walk away. Oh, he's very dead. So Tusk finds the kill.
Snow with your eye.
Well, they drop down a Sentry Ward as well as the Observer, and it looks like they are going to continue to mess with Forever a little bit. Still 90 seconds before Chronosphere is back up, but the Aegis did just expire. So things looking okay. MVP are making their way back into this. It's such I love seeing this type of itemization too, because so often you get locked into a single mode of thinking, and you see up here in the top lane they are going to be able to find Ohio, and a couple right clicks trying to find the kill. Oh, why not? Just get a bash, why don't you? And it's going to chase him into the jungle. They don't have the AA Blast thrown out as of yet, and it looks like they're not going to be able to find him. So a little bit unfortunate. Ohio gets out, and they weren't able to get the bash. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, a little bit of trouble coming out as Dubu tracked up. QO is going to take a ton of damage from that Requiem of Souls, and with one last slight, they find the kill onto the DP.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Never refuse gold given.
I think they sort of have to, well, they don't have to be rattled, but I think they sort of have to try and make it happen quickly. You look at their lineup, and while you do have a good amount of scalability, I just always think that Ember Spirit can be a trump card, and what the Bounty Hunter gold advantage is going to be able to give them. I mean, there's 15 kills with a good amount of them being track kills. I'd be pretty concerned right now if I was MVP, and maybe just a little bit more clean execution and...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looking for it, but not finding as of yet. He needs to back out so that his Shadow Blade doesn't end up wearing off with him in the bad spot. But do they actually place down any sentries? We haven't seen any yet. Crimson Guard for Ohio. It's just tanking up. Oh, well, they might think a little bit. We'll see if they end up going for this. Again, Fnatic are not going to be able to... I mean, they can reveal the smoke in a second with 343, but if they end up being able to get the Chronosphere out a little bit ahead, God, this could be really big. This is exactly what they're waiting for. The smoke breaks. They do spot out 343, but Dust doesn't connect onto them, and now Ohio is here. They have the... Well, Ion Shell already going, maybe thinking about going into this. They actually take the fight and just gonna jump right into Mushi. The Requiem Souls comes out, kill off Dubu, and QO as well as Forever taking so much damage. They're both gonna go down. They didn't end up being able to get the Chronosphere off or anything. MP goes for the Omni Slash, but gonna get swapped out. They're going to be fine through this, maybe going to be able to get the debuff applied, and Mushi is going to break, I think. No, he's going to survive. Oh, God. Febby, the lone survivor, but it's not going to be for long. A 5 wipe, and Fnatic don't lose a person.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
That's really, and I think it also goes back to what you were saying earlier, that this is a lineup where MVP feel like they have to be aggressive. They feel like they have to make something happen, and because of that, because they needed to make something happen with that smoke, they walk into just a really terrible team fight for themselves. And now, you look at the net worth advantage, it is skyrocketed 20,000 at 27 minutes with 20,000 experience difference as well. And the itemization, I mean, it's just halted for QO. He's been stuck on this soul booster for a good 7 to 8 minutes. And oh man, it's so hard for them to get back into this game at this point. And tracked up. And this to me just it speaks again of Fnatic really realizing what they need to do to win this. And you talked about their sort of dominance over this region. You can see why in this game. They know what needs to be done, and they're making the correct moves at every point in time. Dubu is still staying here. I feel like they've got one big last hurrah on them, and at that point, if it doesn't work out, they might need to think about calling it. But a lot of heroes here in the bottom. Oh, Faceless Void pauses. By the same mark, though, I'm also seeing that DP is about half HP at this point. Obviously, does not have an Octarine core. Went back for the plate mail to try and build up a little bit more tankability. But this could be a problem because there's no great weight to give her more HP. You really need her to be able to survive through that team fight. And Juggernaut isn't even there. MP is not going to be able to get into this fight quickly, whereas Ember Spirit is rather rapidly. So even though it's a great opportunity, I still don't even know if all the pieces are there for them to win the fight. Like, they have to hit the A blast perfectly on top of the Chronosphere, which catches several heroes, and have Tusk be able to throw out his entire arsenal of skills. And all of that together without Ember Spirit coming back and just running over them. Right. All right, well, here we go, everybody. Game number 1 looking like it could rest on this Faceless Void shoulders, and they're going to walk into Roshan realizing we don't want to take it. So we thought it could have been a good opportunity. Doesn't look like the side of MVP feel like it is, and they wanted to wait until they had everybody. So probably a good decision to back out again for the moment at least. But they're still going to get spotted and going to move into Roche. Oh, this one, I'm not sure about this. This is scary. 343 scouting them up on the high ground. They realize where everybody is. They drop down the sentry ward and going to be able to keep eyes on if the bounty hunter is going to be there. Maybe going to be able to make something happen. He jumps in. Chronosphere's just Ohio, and meanwhile, Huo is up on the high ground. They're going to get off the revenue. Salt did so much damage. Oh God, is MP going to be able to survive through this? I don't think so. Lucia, big bad man, up on the high ground, and the Omni Slash is not going to be able to find the kill. They already killed off the Ancient Apparition and still alive for the moment. They're continuing to fight. Huo is pretty tanky, and he is finally going to go, though. Oh, 4 dead, and unfortunately it was just not nearly enough. Forev trying to get out of here. Can they break the TP chains? Comes out just a second too late, but GG gets called. There was no way.
Fnatic victory.